This week we're going to take a look at the history of price changes for old and new crop soybean futures on the day that the USDA releases its prospective plantings and grain stocks reports at the end of the month. We're also going to take a look at updated trends in U.S. soybean exports, as well as a change in the weather pattern in Argentina. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved in the latter half of March here, and there's quite a bit going on. We're going to start out this week looking at a history of the changes in old crop and new crop soybean futures on the day that the USDA releases its March prospective plantings report and grain stocks report. This year that report falls on March 31st, Friday. Let's take a look at that history. Now what we're looking at here is SK is old crop soybean futures, SK is new crop soybean futures. We're looking at the change from the previous day's trading on the day that those reports are released. And you can see there certainly can be, not a guarantee by any means, but there can be quite a bit of price volatility. 2 years ago, for example, sharply higher prices. Last year, sharply lower prices. Here's the key message. We strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your risk management positions in place for both old and new crop production prior to the release of these reports. Let's switch gears now back to changes in the export trends here for U.S. soybeans. We're going to start out looking at a pattern that's looking much different from a year ago. What we've got here is unshipped soybean export sales to all destinations except China. Notice that blue background, that's 22. A year ago, we did see a surge in sales linked primarily to that smaller soybean crop in Brazil. Now, we looked at this last week, but it bears repeating. That black line, we're seeing a much different pattern this year. The buyers are expecting a large crop in Brazil. They are buying basically now hand to mouth from the U.S., and we do not anticipate that type of spike in sales that we saw a year ago. Let's expand on that a bit more. Looking now at year-to-date U.S. unshipped soybean sales by destination. Look at last year. A surge in business boosted unshipped sales to the second highest level on record. But here's the key thing to highlight. This year, sales are far lower to the Far East, Africa, and Western Hemisphere destinations. So, in a nutshell, ATI's annual forecast is only 1.98 billion bushels. That's 35 million bushels less than what the USDA is projecting. Let's shift our attention now to South America. We're going to look at where those soybeans are produced in Argentina. We got 4 key provinces here we're going to focus on. Buenos Aires, Córdoba, Santa Fe, and Santiago del Estero. Again, looking around 80 to 85% of those beans are produced in those provinces. Let's take a look at short-term weather trends for Argentina. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm weather. This is something we've highlighted all throughout the winter, how dry it's been in Argentina. Look at the last 30 days. Proxy of subsoil moisture, intensely dry. There has been some irreversible crop loss in those areas at this point. However, as we wrap things up here, there is a trend change here the next 14 days, much more green than we've seen in that picture for quite some time. It looks like there's going to be normal to above normal precip for those areas. What does it mean? Maybe some of the late planted beans will benefit, double crop beans after the wheat harvest. And maybe there'll be some stabilization in terms of whatever can be salvaged from that earlier planted beans. But definitely a trend change is in the works. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Now, November beans, as we tape here on Tuesday, are trading near $13.10 a bushel. Now that's actually $1.90 below where it was last year. In other words, November 22 futures last year were near $15 a bushel. However, it's still $2 above the 5-year average for this time of year. So again, we strongly encourage you to continue to defend your balance sheet. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.